This is a great question, and I'm glad somebody asked it. Time to demystify mid-side EQ. Let's make it simple. Mid-side EQ is one of those producer buzzwords that producers like to name drop. It makes you sound like you know what you're talking about, and sometimes it can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Your mix is divided into two sections: the middle of your mix, or mid, which is oftentimes also mono, and then the sides, which is everywhere else. An example of a mid signal would be a kick, your bass, your sub, maybe even a vocal. Example of things on the sides would be synths, keys, mid-range basses like something you made in Serum, stuff like that. Things with stereo width. Here's a few practical instances of mid-side EQing. I'm using FabFilter Pro Q here because it has a large visual representation, but every single EQ should be able to do both stereo and mid-side EQing. Here's an example.
A little taste of heaven. Can I stay this time?
Say I wanted to boost the bass, which is a mono signal, without messing with the synths. In this case, we'll right-click, stereo placement, mid. Now we can give a boost to this bass without affecting any of the synths.
A little taste of heaven.
This next one is my most used mid-side EQ trick. To make room for the low end, we will create a side EQ, make a low cut, and cut out the sides around 150 Hertz. This will ensure that your sub gets through nice and clean. Last example, say our synths just weren't wide enough and we wanted to add more width to our mix. Create a point on the sides and boost maybe around 1K. This will make our mix sound nice and wide and professional. All of these tips are on a case-by-case basis. Don't just apply these every single time. And if you're ever in doubt, just don't do mid-side EQ, do a normal EQ. Remember, it just doesn't have to be complicated.